Hi, and welcome to our TED Talk. This is Walter, and I'm Gwen. The title of our TED Talk is Be Inspired, Be Creative, Be Alive. Today, Walter and I are going to explain what stories, belly button lint, and rules have to do with creativity. As teachers, we believe we have superpowers to teach anything, even creativity. And there are some who believe that creativity can be taught. All you have to do is search Pinterest for lesson plans on creativity, and your board will be filled with pins telling you that it's easy. All you have to do is follow some magic lesson plans or a formula, and anyone can learn to be creative. These well-intentioned people have quantified and qualified creativity into a neat little box. And since being creative is something most aspire to be, they eagerly follow the lesson plan and formula perfectly. But have they truly learned to be creative, or are they following a creative pattern? Instead, consider this. Each one of us has the capacity to be creative, even Walter. But to be creative, you need to throw out rules and formulas and patterns. Instead, learn to embrace your creative spirit. It needs to be nurtured and inspired. Creativity is messy and abstract and doesn't have a timeline. What? Yes, Walter, we're going to talk about belly button lint and creativity. Really? Okay, let's start with a story. It begins with a deep, booming voice. That's how a lot of these stories begin. Hey, you, teacher. Me? I answer. You're talking to me? Yes, you. What do you do to inspire creativity in your students? Well, let's see. Given the state of current educational mandates, I let students discover how to creatively fill in bubbles on standardized tests. Oh, and we practice writing formulated responses to on-demand writing prompts. Be serious, the voice chastised. Okay. I start by paraphrasing a story from Orbiting the Giant Hairball by Gordon Mackenzie. This is my favorite book. Though, as an English teacher, people expect me to say my favorite book is from the list of classics, like Huck Finn or The Scarlet Letter. My apologies to traditional purist English teachers everywhere. What, Walter, what's your favorite book? Where the Wild Things Are? I love that book too. Okay, this is how the story goes. Paraphrasing, of course. Did you ever wonder what happened to your creative powers? You had them. You really did. When you were in your mom's belly, a booming voice told you that when it was time to be born, you would be clutching a paintbrush, just like Walter, and a canvas. And when the time was right, you would know what to do with them. Well, you went on the trip of a lifetime, down a dark tunnel and into the bright lights of life. Time moved on as only time can. And as you grew older, you took the paintbrush and unfurled the canvas and discovered there were lines on the canvas. And the instructions told you to paint the number 1s with red, the number 2s with yellow, and the number 3s with blue. You carefully painted each number and never went outside the lines. And then you found there were other numbers and other colors. You followed those perfectly too. One day, all the lines were painted, but much of your canvas was still a blank. You pondered out loud, now what will I do? The same booming voice that talked to you when you were in your mom's womb answered, it's your turn to paint your life. See, all this time you've used exact colors to fill inside the lines, and you did it perfectly. Everyone in your life praised you for following the rules and never questioning why you were following them. Now it's your turn. You need to use your creativity and paint the colors of your life. Create what? Creativity, Walter. What's that? Well, that is the enduring question. What is creativity? Sir Ken Robinson, he's kind of famous, believes creativity is the process of having original ideas that have value. Creativity evolves. Often the idea you started with is not what you end up with. It is true that all people are born with the capacity for creativity, but it's equally true that many people never develop their powers for creativity, nor refine them. All creative process involves evaluation. You can feel it. Yes, Walter, you can feel it. Even you can feel it. People believe they are not creative. Could rules have anything to do with this? Let's go back to my 10th grade class. Walter's one of my students. As I try to help them understand their creative genius lives within and is begging to be released. At this point, they vehemently declare, "We are not creative." I tell them, "Well, you started out as creative wonders." Now I say to them, "Close your eyes." Close your eyes, Walter. Are they closed? They're tired high school students, so they willingly comply. They're also really good rule followers. Okay, class. Think about, yes, Walter, you too. Think about when you were about 4 or 5 years old and your mom let you play outside after a rainstorm. You would survey the sidewalk and find the biggest, the deepest puddle, and you would jump right in the middle, and make a splash so big it would drench your clothes. "That was awesome," you exclaim, and then you would do it again. But then you entered kindergarten, and your teacher told you that grass is green, and sky is blue, and flowers are red. But you saw the colors of the rainbow and painted them into the sky and the flowers and the grass. Your teacher scolded you for not following the rules. She said, "The grass is green, the sky is blue, and flowers are red." You tried again to paint the rainbow, and this time she took your paints away. And then you went to elementary school, and you were teased in a not so nice way because you were the kid who, when the teacher called on you, your answers didn't fit into the teacher's answer book. Later, when you were in junior high school, a math teacher made you stand at the board to answer a math question that he knew you wouldn't be able to answer. And then he and the class laughed at you. And then in the high school, you learned to admonish yourself for responding to questions with answers that were outside of normal. You weren't trying to be funny or make the teacher mad. Your answer, well, it made sense to you. Once again, you would shrink into the wood grain in your desk in an attempt to hide from the snickers and stares. You wondered, why can't I think like everyone else? Why can't I? You tried so desperately to fit in. See, everybody wants to fit in. You, me, everyone. Even Walter. Your creativity has been squished into a neat little sealed vessel, and you have been taught that if you follow rules to always paint inside the lines with the prescribed color, your life will be magically perfect. Still not convinced? Right now, you are probably going through your mental list of how you know you aren't creative. When you do this, you are reinforcing all the voices that told you what to think and how to act. Instead, find what inspires you. What speaks to your inner child? Find a puddle and jump into it. I tell my students their creativity resides within the deepest, darkest crevices of their bodies, their belly buttons. And that belly button lint, well, that's your creative storage compartment. And the lint is the accumulation of unused, discarded ideas that were never allowed to grow. Let your belly button fill up with ideas and let your belly buttons fill up with ideas and take them out and nurture their growth until your ideas blossom and you have created something that inspires. Creativity isn't painting or dancing. It's not playing an instrument or singing. Creativity is a feeling that lives inside. Listen to that feeling. Let it take over. Let it grow. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Be courageous because sometimes people will laugh at you for your ideas. And they'll declare your ideas won't work, or that's dumb, that's stupid. Don't let others squash your creative spirit. Embrace the creative spirit that lives and thrives within. You have a creative masterpiece inside you, one unlike any that has ever been created or ever will be. And remember, if you go to your grave without painting your masterpiece, it will not get painted. No one else can paint it, only you. Be inspired. Be creative. Be alive. Oh, and Walter wants me to tell you, all teachers in the Pulaski Masters program, that he wishes he could be in your classes because he knows you would let him paint the rainbow into anything, and you would always remind him to look deep inside his belly button to let his ideas flourish. Thanks for listening and watching our TED Talk. Goodbye. Walter says goodbye too.